Welcome, everyone, to Unanswered Points, coming to you live from the Freshwood Studios. My name is Brian, along with Doug, and we are your hosts for this inaugural podcast of
What up?
Brutally Honest Philly Sports Talk. What's up, Doug?
Much, how you doing today?
Doing well. Long time.
I'm doing very well.
Long time coming for this bad boy. But see, the thing is, I'm not going to be calling you Doug very much, and you're not going to be calling me Brian.
I don't think you've ever really called me Doug, ever.
Yeah, I think the last 30 seconds were the second, third time I've ever called you Doug.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I think maybe when we first met.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Second time.
Yeah, second time to start with Fresh.
Yes.
So you'll be hearing that, hence Freshwood Studios. You'll be hearing Fresh and Wood a lot.
Cheers.
Cheers to Fresh. I may have wood. So this is what we're doing. All right? We're going to try and do this every week. Uncensored, baby.
We will be doing this every week.
Brutally
ladies and
Honest is
gentlemen.
a funky way of saying this is uncensored. You get your kick from us with the uncensored ilk.
There's a lot of stuff that these hosts do not want to say on the radio,
Well, they can't.
or they can't.
You know they do with their boys.
Absolutely. I got news for you. Every single commercial break, when there's dead air, and they're
Oh, they get caught on that shit sometimes.
yes, they do get caught on that stuff. But they're talking to their boys, or talking to the silent bros of the world, and they're saying the things that they're not allowed to say.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But
This ain't that.
this ain't that, because you can say whatever you want. Hopefully one day
Good eat.
we can rock and roll with some interaction. I mean, we're definitely going to have some interaction with the followers and the listeners and the subscribers to a podcast. Right now, this is go number one. We're going to try and get this bad boy on iTunes and start wrecking shit up. So basically, what we're going to do, obviously, we're going to cover Philly sports talk. That is a rampant thing in Philly, sports talk. You know, just two full FM stations that get fucking money out the a-hole because of what they do.
Hundreds of thousands of listeners a day.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And you know how many people probably sit there like we did and said, these fuckers just want to say something that they can't, like we were just talking about.
Yep.
And everybody, I mean, the demographics, we're probably not going to get many 60, 70-year-olds, but you never know. We did hit Finland or whatever the hell with our pig cast, which is a fantasy cast we ran. So anyway, our first segment always is going to run through the local sports, the local Philly scene. We're going to take it from there. And then obviously we're going to do some funky segments that we've talked about, so you'll be privy to that soon enough. Very readily available now. First time ever I've used Twitter. I can say that. So you can follow us at UnansweredPts. I'm going to need a pop screen next time once we get a little bigger here. UnansweredPts, obviously short for points. So you can follow us at UnansweredPts, Facebook.com/unanswered.points. Unanswered period points. That sounds weird.
Period. Who says period anymore?
What's like period points? That'd be like a...
I know girls who don't say period. They're not on their period. They're on their dot. Their DOT.
That's not correct.
Swear to God.
No, it ain't.
It is correct.
No.
Oh, good for you!
And finally, our email address, unansweredpts@gmail.com. So hit us up on all that shizzle. Unanswered Points is probably the going to take over the world, I think, right?
Let's hope so.
All right.
Let me see it, mate.
So, welcome. And now we will start running through. Last week it came over and we was trying to talk about what to talk about. All right. At that time, the Flyers did not clinch a playoff spot.
But something happened last night.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Once again, this is as a podcast. This is on a Wednesday night, the 9th. So last night the Flyers took care of the Panthers in Florida.
Yep.
5-2. The Dusky, and they clinched. So what was it, what you said when you got here earlier? 17th something or whatever?
17th time in 19 years we are seeing postseason hockey in Philadelphia. Now, I know there are a lot of naysayers out there that more than 50% of the league makes the playoffs, and I completely understand that. But sustained success for 17 out of the last 19 years, that's saying something, don't you think?
Big time.
There's only one team that has made the playoffs.
Yeah, you tried to stump me with that bad boy, but I got that shit right away.
Years. And what was it?
That was the Detroit Red Wings.
And they're a pretty good team, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, they can show their rings. We can't.
Well, this is
Pisses
true.
me to fuck off. I mean, what?
You can only win a ring if you get to the dance. That's all I'm going to say.
And we've only done it twice in those 17 years.
And I got to say that There were a lot of critics out there when they got in the last game, if you remember correctly. Brian Boucher, shootout.
Yeah, that little fucking jig he did afterwards.
Oh my God, that was awesome!
What a
And
total asshole.
what happened that year? That they kind of just wrote him off. They got in the last day of the season. They're going to lose in the first round. How far did they get that year?
Mr. Yeah, they lost to the Blackhawks in the Stanley Cup Finals.
They did, and in my opinion, to one of the weakest goals you're ever going to see.
Big time.
At the
Speaking of
Stanley
weakest
Cup
goal,
Finals level, but whatever.
that reminded me of Mason's goal that let up on Bergeron the other week.
Oh my God.
That was junk. Now
And
you got to love Mason. For being he's steady as fuck. So
He is steady, and they have needed a goaltender like this for a while, and I know that we've all gotten on the bandwagon many times before on other goaltenders. Ninomaki was one of them. Czechmanek was one of them.
well, Boucher was kind of one of them. I guess he panned out a little bit.
Boucher took them a long way when they played the Devils. They
Yeah.
lost in the Eastern Conference.
Oh, man.
That was,
but that one save.
I know. I watched
Heavy.
it last night.
Did ya?
It's actually on the best goaltender saves of all time as viewed from the NHL. You can check it out on YouTube if you want to got some free time.
You can
want something to
check
do.
anything out on
You
YouTube.
probably can.
You can probably get a live feed of us right now. I'm not wearing pants.
2 Girls, 1 Cup.
Is that still around?
I'm sure that it's still around.
Do people? I never succumbed to it. Never.
Me neither.
Yeah, I mean-
I've heard of it. I swear to you, to this day, I have never watched it. I just go on what I hear about it. But anyway, we're back to the Flyers.
Yeah. Well, I can watch broads do a lot of things, but
It's a sausage competition.
well, not really actually. But
I love sausage.
I know that's why you're here too. Post game festivities. All right. So right back to the Flyers.
Playoffs?
Exactly. We're rocking and rolling. Who do you want? First round. Who do you want? Dead air, not good. Come on.
Rangers.
You want them.
I do.
Where? MSG to start? Because we're fucked.
No, I don't want MSG to start.
Exactly.
I'd rather have him here.
You're
And
playing with fire.
you are. I think you can get the first 2 games at home. If you get 2 of them under your belt, then you should be going there with a little bit of confidence, and hopefully you can at least take 1 of them if you're going back to New York, and hopefully come back and close it out. So
So it would be the classic, hey, let's get 1 out of 2 and we're in our driver's seat.
yes, but
What's a better, what?
you're talking about the Rangers, and I know they've not been good at Madison Square Garden and blah blah blah, but it's
I'm not a big home ice guy in the hockey playoffs. We've proven that in the last couple of years, especially
Yes.
in Pittsburgh.
Yes.
Which is who I want. Because just like the Rangers right now, I fucking hate them. Don't get me wrong. You got to respect them for what they've been doing a little bit because they've been hot as shit.
Yep.
But I don't want to go there and play them. But if they come to our place, I think we can beat them. So I'm kind of contradicting myself with the home ice thing. But if we go to Pittsburgh, we'll kill them. They're scared of us, just like I'm kind of scared of them.
It really is amazing, the whole Pittsburgh thing. When you look at it,
They're scared.
I don't know if they're scared or what they are. I mean,
Pussy eating scared.
you got a captain over there who, I mean, if you have a Facebook page, I'm sure you've seen the feeds to all the videos lately. He dove after who clipped him?
When was this?
It was a referee clipped him. You didn't see this video?
You know what? I think I do remember seeing it. No, has it been going crazy?
It was a referee or a linesman, I can't remember, but
It's funny
literally
you mentioned it.
he just skated by, and he has just an instinct as soon as a gnat lands on his nose to just fall like he got shot by a howitzer.
What is he in Somalia?
Huh?
Gnats on noses?
Gnats on noses.
That's like boots to asses.
That's to quote Family Guy, that's a bullfrog's vacation right there.
All right, so we're not
Really?
getting on iTunes. Yeah. Thank you for that.
We absolutely are.
All right.
Correct.
So, how I was talking with one of our good friends, Donuts, last night. Now that we have clinched, there's 3 games left. We're playing in Tampa first, who we never play well in Tampa.
Oh.
We actually probably don't really play. I don't get the vibe we play well against them in general. Next we go at Pittsburgh, which we just hit on. We might lose that game because now the Jets are off. I don't know.
And then we come home for the last game of the year versus the Carolina Panthers.
Are you sure?
I'm sorry, the Carolina Hurricanes. That
Yeah.
is absolutely incorrect. I'm sorry, I'm excited. You know why I'm excited?
Because you're all dressed up with nowhere to go.
Because I'm going to the game.
Oh,
That's why I'm sorry.
have fun watching Razor.
I will watch them win.
That was my question, though. What do you do with Mason? Do you sit him for a couple? I'd probably play him the next two, sit him that last one. There's no doubt he's going to sit against the Hurricanes, unless there is some home ice.
Mason's your guy. And I feel as if...
I mean, as far as resting.
You ride him all the way through. Because positioning is huge right now. We just talked about
What if it has nothing to do with positioning?
If it has nothing to do with positioning, then yes. If you know who you're going to play...
What don't you fucking understand?
Fuck you. Okay?
What? I didn't
Fuck
do shit.
you. If there is no doubt of who you're going to play on the last game of the season, yeah, I would say, Russ Mason, you're
Yeah.
going to need him. But if you're still jostling a little bit, then yeah, I want to play my best guy, and Mason is by far the best guy.
Giddy up.
Giddy up.
I get it. So, in conclusion to the Flyers aspect of this, confidence level, where you at?
Scale 1 to 10?
If we can do 1 to 100, whatever you want there, homeboy.
No, 1 to 10. You're talking confidence level going into the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, we were hot as balls 2 weeks ago. Both of us would be at an 11 right now. Now, you want to go in hot. We got a little bit hot a little bit too early, but it did help establish us as now clinching by
The
now.
Flyers in that streak that they are on. You got to remember they played the best teams in the league,
Yeah, and they did a great job. Great doesn't even suffice.
and everyone wanted to jump off the ship there when they lost a couple games. Well, you know what? I really don't understand that. You're not.
Who wanted to do that?
You haven't been listening to
Oh, are you going to the mall today?
any radio at all in the last week.
Well, you know what?
All
Maybe
the
I'm trying to
callers?
stop.
Want to find flaws with the Flyers, left and right?
Frank Flaws.
Frank Flaws.
Maybe we can get him on next week.
Anyway,
Yes. I'm gonna have fun with this.
in any event, yes,
I got like 14
I don't
more
understand
haven't
that.
used yet.
They're going to right the ship. I wasn't really panicking. I don't know what the rest of you were doing, but
Beating it.
they're a good team. I really, really enjoy watching them. I think that for a captain like Giroux starts a team 1-7 and says we're going to make the playoffs.
Oh, that was beautiful.
And I heard an interview, a post-game interview last night after the game, and I can't remember which reporter asked him, but said, was that something you did just to kind of like light a fire under the guys' asses,
Yeah,
or
fuck no.
or was that something you were?
Believe it, baby.
Did you? That's what he asked him.
Yeah.
Did you believe it at the time, or what?
Who
It's
asked
like,
that question?
I can't remember. I just said that.
No, I don't mean who.
In any event,
Rhetorical.
he said, he's got they got a great group of guys, and they mold well together, and my confidence level to answer your question is about 8 going into the playoffs.
Cool. I actually thought that's what you meant. Claude Giroux said. I thought you were still on what his answer was.
No, it was not.
I'll tell you what, sir. Yes, I do believe what I said. I think we're about an 8 out of 10 confidence level going in.
Yes,
was
I would
like,
agree.
Fuck you. But I'm a little. I don't know. I'm a little bit lower. I don't know. I'm scared.
Why? Scared of what?
Scared of not having. I don't know. They're just that.
They take a period off here and there.
Yeah, no, just a killer instinct, man. It just. I know Berube's done an amazing job. Any chance he wins Jack Adams this year? I was thinking about it today. No one's even talked about it. I mean, it was 1-7 with a bleak. I mean, it was looking like Jeff Sanderson all over again.
He might be a finalist.
So yeah, he should be. I don't know what he did because he has a personality of my Sonic the Hedgehog stuffed doll over there. That sounds weird. I just saw it sitting next to my PlayStation. I'm a gay.
You sound like a gay.
I know.
You do.
Jesus mercy. So, but yeah, he's done an amazing job. I'm not scared of the teams as much as I'm scared of our team. I think we need. I don't know. Giroux, how many points this year? 70 maybe.
Well, he's got 27 goals. I don't have the assist off me right now.
So I mean, he's probably in the 60, 70 range. I just think we're missing the one guy that puts us over the hump. And for some reason, they thought LeCavier was it. I don't know why they thought. I mean, he's doing exactly what I thought he would do, and I'm happy about it. And everyone kind of is in retrospect, but he had a bad run for a bit. Now he's playing fourth line center with people like Ty McGinn, Ronaldo, people like that. And he's being awesome at it.
And he is being awesome
And
at
you know
it.
why? It doesn't matter that he's on the fourth line. It matters he's playing center.
It matters he's playing center.
You know,
not
right,
the wing.
right and left wing, they can't bitch and moan about getting changed. You know, if you're a right winger, you play left, and you go, "Oh, it's not my natural position." Deal with it. You're on the fucking wing. Hug the boards. Do your job. Now, the center, if you go to the wing, that's a whole new territory, man. You got to be able to swing around the back. Other than that, it's the real estate's entirely different on the defensive end.
Center is pretty much free range for wherever you want to go.
Yeah, but
That's what it's-
on the defensive side, it's you're all hunky dory.
It's like being a free safety.
Yep,
It's pretty
big
much
time.
what it's being like.
Big time. So that'll wrap up the Flyers point. Let's move on to the next folks that we're kind of watching right now. The Fightins just started last week. Kind of disappointing in the fact that I feel like they're a lot better team than maybe we all thought, but give them a month. That's what I think, which is kind of a dickhead way to look at it, but give them some time. Why are you shaking your head, Chieftain?
I just think this is
Junk.
going to be junk is
Ricky
an
Otero
understatement.
year. Yeah.
This is
Mark Barron?
Chase Utley's kind of looking like his former self right now, and you know what I keep hearing a lot about this year? If this and if that and if this, and we kind of heard the same last year. Well, if Ryan Howard can hit 35 home runs,
If we had a time machine.
and if we had a time machine, it's pretty
Everybody's
much
fucking 38.
what the last question should be. You know, I want this team to win just as much as the next guy in Philadelphia, but this Cole Hamels injury, and going out and you getting AJ Burnett at this point, and what's AJ Burnett going to give you?
He's probably. I like the fact that Pittsburgh actually hates the fact that they let him go now, but I like the signing. I think he'll be solid, but that's another thing. Our GMs are fucked up in Philly. We've been like that for a long time. I think they go, AJ Burnett's going to come in and get us 16 wins. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
You don't think Ruben's thinking, hey, 14, 15, 16. I mean, AJ Burnett's going to finish with 12 if we're lucky.
How many pitchers in the last 3 years have gotten you 16 wins?
Wearing the pinstripes for us?
Yes.
Cole once, Clifford.
How can you expect that this guy
Yeah, there's going to be one of them.
is going to be one of them?
I don't know. But like you said, everyone is all banking on all the oldies, if you will. Even though you mentioned Chase is having a great year. It's so far, he is. But Ryan Howard, I mean, he's actually not doing too bad as far as his average and shit like that. But I think he had 14 at-bats. He had 8 strikeouts to start the year. That's not something you can actually improve on anymore.
Yes.
You're past the point of no return with that.
And the other thing, too, is you had the Jonathan Papelbon comment last year.
That guy sucks.
We all know what he said.
Fuck him.
Okay, well, if, my team's not in it, I really can't turn it on, and I'm just kind of, throwing whatever I want out there.
Dude,
well,
you sound just like him, like McConaughey and True Detective.
it's ridiculous. Okay, well, here you are, the first series of the year. Okay, here's your chance to shine, buddy. Everyone's in it right now. Everyone's in it. You should be out there. First of all, you should be out there running hard and pitching hard every single game of your fucking life, as far as I'm concerned, because there are tons of guys like the two sitting here that would give anything to be pitching or to be playing hockey or basketball or football or whatever the hell else and making the league minimum just because we would love to play a sport that we love for our whole fucking life.
Big time.
Okay, and this guy's sitting here going to tell the rest of his fan base in Philadelphia that he has never done anything for, that he's going to come out and whenever he feels like pitching, he'll pitch. Okay, well, that's great. This is the highest paid player on a team this year, I believe. Is that correct?
Who, Papelbon?
Papelbon.
Not highest paid player, but highest paid closer.
Highest paid closer, right?
In the league.
In the league.
For the last 2
in
or
the
3
league.
years now. Yep.
How do you justify something like that?
Well, I'll tell you what. It doesn't matter. You know why? They tried to ship him last year, and it reminded me of the Deshaun thing. I mean, this dude might as well have been carrying guns and, crypting it up. Because, I mean, no one wanted a part of this cat. And now he goes, hey, I rehabilitated. I'm not going to talk like an idiot anymore. I'm going to do my job, and I'm going to do it well. And he even said, we're going to win the World Series. Because, and that's fine. Because that's what you should say. Anyway, it doesn't matter what team you're on.
Deshaun Jackson and Jonathan Papelbon in a table match.
Oh.
Who wins?
In a table match. Are we talking a regular squared circle, like a whole production of WWF and all, or?
Yes.
Oh man, what do they come out to? What's that theme? I mean, we know what Deshaun comes out to. Fucking that shit. Yeah, big time. Absolutely. And man, a table match. Well, I'm gonna go Papelbon because you got to lift the other person up. Deshaun can run around. Papelbon will just wait for him to stop running like a fucking whack, and I'll just pick him up and put him through. Deshaun couldn't pick up a horse. Well, that's pretty heavy.
Pick up a horse.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
All right.
Deshaun versus a horse in a pickup
You're alone on that
contest. Huh?
You're alone on that one.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Anyway.
That didn't fit.
Yeah.
No, right. I'm not going to expend all my buttons.
Jonathan Papelbon just that's
He's a
a
dope.
huge concern of mine going into this year. Yeah,
He's an absolute dope.
And he just, as far as I'm concerned, showed his true colors. You know, first couple games of the season, throwing up his arms, and there's
That's the ultimate disrespect right there.
absolutely.
You don't do that shit.
You
dude.
know, and I listened to a interview. They had Ryan Sandberg on one of the radio shows day after, and he was trying to justify, oh, we talked after the game, and that's not really what he meant. That's exactly what he freaking meant.
Yep.
Give me a break.
Absolutely.
He came out. He had time to relax after the game and chill out and gather his emotions and calm down.
That's
But
my phone.
on no, but he still had to come out and say what he did, and I hate him. I cannot tell you how much I cannot stand that guy.
Most despised player in Philly sports right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, tell me the next closest person.
Well, for me personally, and this is a whole other show, but anybody knows me from Adam, that my two most despised have gotten the boot from the fucking Birds, and now I'm on board like a motherfucker.
Yes.
Michael Vick was my most hated athlete in the history of my life.
Absolutely.
And Deshaun Jackson just, I can't do it, man. I don't care.
Michael Vick was good for one thing. My 2010 fantasy football team.
Oh, good for you.
I remember that. That was our inaugural pig league, hence
Yeah.
the podcast I was
It
mentioning
was
earlier.
good for me. It was good for me.
You picked him up on the waiver wire.
And you know what? I picked him up on the way. It wasn't even the waiver wire. Waivers cleared that week, and then I picked him up as a free agent. I think on Wednesday night.
Well, that's great. Thanks.
You all had a chance to pick him up, and I was like, all right, whatever. He's kind of doing something. We'll see where it goes, and we'll.
And then
Truth
what
be
was it, like
told,
second in MVP voting?
It was
Now,
it was ridiculous.
My loving brother-in-law, who is the man pots and pans, made this timeline for me personally called Michael Vick Sucks, A History. And it's a timeline of just all of his terrible performance or things that have happened to him. And, try and picture this for folks who haven't seen it. You're probably thinking like one straight line, and it's like segmenting a sentence, where it's like here's the verb, here's the noun, here's the adjective, and then done. No, there's like fucking 40 different things on there because that's how shitty that cat was. I don't know how you can't start me on this guy. All right. Well, Phillies expectations, because might as well do a quick Phillies preview here. start
My
of the
Phillies
season.
expectations?
Sure.
As
Shit
far
in
as
the hole.
As far as wins are concerned?
Yep, wins.
Oh my God. I really
Showers?
think I don't know. I mean, I want to be a realist. I want to be a fan, and I want to be passionate, and I love watching the Phillies, and I root for them every game. I don't
Right.
root for them to lose, but if they break 82 wins, I will be in.
82?
impressed.
You kidding me?
Dude, 82 would be
82.
like, I'll run around naked around here. 82 is a big time. I mean, I'm thinking 75 tops, to be honest with you. I mean, what did they win last year? 79, I think?
I don't
Something like that?
remember what the record was in the last year.
Now, the thing is, are we better than last year? Who the fuck knows? We're the same team, really. Ruben's so scared. You got Marlon Bird now.
Health. That's all it's going to come down to. Can you stay healthy the
Cody
whole
Ashley
year?
for a whole year, all that stuff. That's another thing that pissed me off. Signing Jimmy Rollins the other year, it really ticked me off.
Well, hey, you got the Knicks brothers playing together now. Maybe
Oh
that'll
my
give
god!
you
Well, not
something.
together, but
Well,
the other cat ain't here anymore. Oh, you know what I noticed about that, which is really fucked up?
What, Brian?
Their parents must be whacked out on something because. Do you remember the name of the first guy who was on the first Knicks, the outfielder, that little fucking steroid head?
No.
Who probably the first person to ever use that many steroids and not be able to do anything with them. But his name was Lance, right?
You know the biggest steroid head of all time?
Oh, Barry Bonds?
Barry Bonds.
Yeah. Well, remember we did Floyd's Roids that one game.
I do remember that.
Basically, what that was Gavin Floyd was pitching when San Francisco came to Philly, and everybody had their mascots or their bed sheets with their pitcher slogan, Shilometer and the Flotilla, Padilla Flotilla, all that. So Gavin Floyd was pitching that day, and we did Floyd's Roids and the Wolfpack, all that shit. But why did we get here? Anyway. So Lance Nix, right? We spelled it Laynce. Okay.
Okay.
How does Jason Nix spell his name? Jayson. What the fuck's the matter with them? What's up with this Y usage?
I didn't name them. I don't
I
know.
didn't say that correctly at all. Yeah. All right. So you think 85 wins? I think I'll go 79.
Wait a second.
You're saying best? I want your Jones.
First of all, I said if they get over 82 wins.
Any chance
Playoffs.
at all? They got the second wild card now.
No.
Yeah,
If I had $100,000, I
Ryan
would
Braun
bet on
is
them
fucking
not
shit up.
making the playoffs. There's absolutely no way.
Oh, baby. You want a shot of Canadian whiskey?
No, I'm good with my Ace of Spades beer.
There it is. Thank you. A friend of ours left it over.
He was introducing a beer earlier to me, and I'm asking him what type of beer it is. Is it a craft beer? Is it an amber? Is it a light? What is it? He goes, I don't know. It's got the Ace of Spades on it.
This is really prevalent. It does. Well, not the Ace of Spades. It ends up just being a spade, but
So apparently that's a type of beer, and I'm supposed to be impressed by that or not impressed. I don't know.
what's the matter with you? I'm not saying it's impressive.
It's not bad. I've had it, and it is. What is the name of this beer again?
Well, we're not saying, because you never know. It's Fortune. That's all. Fortune teller.
Fortune 500 beer.
You sound like a gay.
I might use that more than any other one.
Oh, stop.
All right, well, now, damn, should have waited a couple more seconds. All right, so we're not going to talk Sixers because they're totally irrelevant. If you're listening to one of the major Philly sports talk Jones for Sixers talk, because I mean, you know how avid Flyers fans get pissed off, as you do,
Yes,
that they don't talk enough Flyers.
I do.
I just think you got to take it in stride personally, because once it's just like it's like black Philadelphia sports fans. They watch the Flyers in the playoffs, just like I would probably watch. Nah, I wouldn't watch that many Sixers in the playoffs, but that's what it's all about.
Oh my God!
So when the Flyers are in the playoffs, then they'll be talked about.
I got news for you. I was in high school.
Not here though. Here you'll hear it all the time.
I was in high school when
Person?
the Sixers were on their run with the Lakers
Oh, big time. It was
all
the
the way
best.
through when they played the Bucks and the Raptors, and
That
oh
was
my
awesome.
God, that was
Dude, those were two series that your fucking
was
asshole
basketball,
clenched.
and I loved it. And you know what? The Sixers, I really think the Sixers are on the verge of being a good team. And you know what?
What's Verge? Years?
4 or 5 years.
That's why. That's not Verge.
I think it is.
That's fucking tunnel.
I think they're laying the foundation right now to
That's
really
Baltimore
become
Harbor.
a team. And you know what? For all the people who say that we're tanking and blah 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 blah, the players are going out there to win. Okay, the players aren't going out there to lose. You know,
Yeah, but they suck so much that the
But they can't
the
control that.
management is
That's
doing
right.
such a great job at acting like they're trying. They've killed it. They've been doing awesome. By the way, did Jabari Parker officially announce he's staying? I don't know if he's officially announced yet, but apparently it's rumored. If he does, I'll laugh for 10 minutes straight.
I heard the rumor as well, but I haven't heard an official announcement.
Oh man,
yet.
that'd be hysterical.
Well, it's not what we need right now in the city.
Apparently we are going to talk Sixers. How about that?
That's
huh?
okay with me though. It's just they are irrelevant right now. Can you name anyone who has come up to you in the last 5 months and said, "Hey, did you watch Sixers game last night?"
No, I actually can't name you anyone that came up and said, "Hey, do you watch the game last night?" Because no one really talks like that.
Okay.
You sound like a gay.
See?
I know lots of
Told you
people
I
that
was-
talk like that.
Oh,
but
really?
That's fine.
Who
I guess
bars?
I talk to lots of gays.
Well, I'm not hinting anything. It's just my fingers.
Yep.
What's that mean? Eagles talk. How much do you like the Deshaun Jackson thing, and do you think he was screwed and all that bullshit?
I'm done with this Deshaun Jackson thing.
Thank you.
I'm
On to the next.
I'm happy he's no longer a Philadelphia Eagle.
As am I.
And
I didn't think he sucked. He was great, but guess what?
you know what? I Chip Kelly hasn't really, well, he hasn't at all come out and said anything this or that. But I love the addition of Darren Sproles, and I think that he's going to be able to do enough with his system to fit Sproles in there, and McCoy in there, and Cooper, and Macklin, and whatever tight end they decide to plug in, that they're going to score points.
Big time.
I don't think you're
Now,
going to see a drop.
what happens if they
any.
draft the wide receiver in in the first round with the 22nd pick? Will that be? Because to me, that'll be like, well, what the fuck? Because you got to go defense. You have to.
Yes, but Chip Kelly's an offensive guy, so
I know.
I don't know. I mean, I agree the defense is the major problem on this team. We were shown that the offense can put up points. So yes, they need to get a corner. They still need a safety. So we'll see. They need a defensive end that is going to be able to get to the quarterback on a consistent basis.
Yep.
But we'll see. I would. The other thing too is all these idiots keep throwing out. Well, if Johnny Manziel is available at 22, do you have to take him? Are you fucking kidding me? Are you?
I hate that dude more than I hate Michael. No, that's incorrect actually. But I mean, if he's there, you take him. What? I don't even understand that question.
Are you kidding me?
You would take him? You wouldn't?
I would not take him. Absolutely.
Well,
not.
let's talk about this.
Johnny Manziel.
Yeah, because you take him and flip him.
No.
Yes, you can. No. That's how you run a Joe.
What are you going to flip him for?
You go into camp. You get him like one preseason game, make him play the whole jam, let his numbers spike up, and then you flip him for a better option. You're going to have 2 number ones if that happens.
Okay.
You're going to have a lot of teams, probably more than 10 teams in the NFL never really have a number one throughout the year. You show him what he's capable of, and now you can flip one of those two, Foles or now. But here's the one thing about Chip Kelly: when are people going to fucking understand? Because everyone thinks he's Chip Kelly, mobile quarterback. Chip Kelly, mobile quarterback. Well, I got news for you. He actually traded up last year to draft Matt Barkley.
What does that do to Nick Foles' psychology then? When you're sitting there drafting Johnny Manziel after the numbers and the historic year that he just put up?
I love Nick Foles, and I'll tell you,
I love him too.
I think he is so down to earth, chill with whatever, that he would understand that he's got to step his game up or he's out, I mean, he hasn't done enough to me to – I mean, I know he's went to the Pro Bowl and everything. I love him. I'm the number one Nick Foles supporter. But, look, if Manziel's there, you take him. That's it.
Okay, let me ask you this then. You're the Vikings. You're the Jaguars. You're a team that needs a quarterback at this point.
Jaguars.
Whatever.
Jagged wires.
Jagged wires. And, okay, now you've put yourself in a position, though, that – every team in the league knows that you're going to flip one of them. So you think you're going to get the full value that you would normally expect? Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
You're drunk.
No, you take the best defensive player on the board at that point. That's what you absolutely do.
I do that no matter what, unless someone like Manziel there.
Absolutely not. I completely disagree.
First of all, they would probably be able to trade out for someone behind them for their pick and then a second or something like that to move back. But I think you're all cattywampus on that.
No, Nick Foles has done enough in my eyes, and I think a lot of other Philadelphians, to earn a legitimate spot at quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles for the foreseeable future.
I agree to that.
Okay.
Now we're talking something that's never going to happen. This isn't Brady Quinn.
No,
this isn't Matt Leinart.
I understand.
Manziel will not be there. He killed it on his pro day. He killed it at the combine.
But it's good banter, right?
Is that what we're doing?
Absolutely.
I didn't know that.
So.
I'm sorry, Chip.
So
Jesus.
What I'm saying is, you're set at quarterback. You're set at quarterback. Okay?
Yeah, I go D.
Absolutely. And I don't care how far Johnny Manziel falls. I really don't care. If he's there in the second round, I still don't take him.
You are high.
No.
And
not.
You're wet. That's it. You're wet.
No.
All right.
Do you remember the whole thing last year's draft? Geno Smith. Remember all that?
Geno Smith, Matt Leinart, Brady Quinn, they're all the same.
Well,
Johnny Manziel is not Geno Smith.
Look, the jury's out on Geno Smith right now. But do I think do I think Geno Smith is Johnny Manziel? No, absolutely I do not. I'm just talking about the hype as far as I'm concerned about the Geno Smith hype. There were so many guys that wanted Geno Smith. Geno Smith's are going to be our guy. Geno Smith's going to fit so well into this offense. Well, lo and behold, you had Nick Foles in your roster the whole time, and look what happened. Okay? And it was all for the best, and I'm just saying stick with what's working, and what's working right now is Nick Foles, and I know that's probably not what Chip Kelly had envisioned becoming the coach of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Right.
But you got to take what you're dealt. And you know what? Nick Foles, as far as I'm concerned, is going to be one of the top 5 guys in the league in the next 2 years.
Well, sign me up. And guess what? I got him. You know how your Vic thing did in the fantasy league that you're all, ears up about 10 minutes ago?
Yep.
Well, I got that mofo, Nick Foles, as a pickup on a free agent wire.
Well,
in my other Joan.
Let me get on my knees and blow you.
Ah, cool.
Oh, good.
Thank you. Yeah. So basically, one last thing I do want to say about that is my biggest problem is putting my personal feelings, not personal feelings, my ethical feelings, I don't know, about how I want a team run or how I would run a team. I want good people who want to be teammates to win for each other. I want people. I just think that makes a team, and I think that harbors success. You know, people like Deshaun, he's talented, but I love that he's off the team.
Yes.
And then teammates say the same thing. So,
a lot of guys said the same thing about T.O.
and you know what's funny about that? Ask my wife. That I'm the world's biggest TO guy, and she never understood that. You know what I'm saying? Uh-oh, all right. Well, there it is, folks. That is that's optional WNBA talk time. That's what that means. So there's a one of the big sports talk stations here. They have a segment that just rubs us the wrong way. It's called Mandatory Eagles Talk at a certain time, and that really kind of grinds our gears, doesn't it, Fresh?
It does grind my gears.
And why does it? Because they talk it every day anyway.
Every day,
For hours.
all the time.
What does that even mean?
Off season, on season, it could the biggest thing in one of the other sports could have happened, and it's got to be a mandatory Eagles talk. Mandatory.
We've been
Eagles
talking
calls.
Eagles more than any other. Yeah. So now we have what we call optional WNBA talk.
You kidding me?
I am not Mr. Mora. So what this means is that every week I'm going to ask my man Fresh. Fresh, would you like to talk about the WNBA this week?
Nope.
All right. Well, that leads us into our next segment. All right. We're going to do a top 3 list. I hate top lists. This ain't your regular top list. What are we doing top-wise this week?
Top 3
Yeah.
most underappreciated Philly athletes.
Big time. Now,
Of
this
all
is
time.
something, once we get a little bit bigger, hopefully, get some followers on Twitter and all that, email, Facebook, the whole nine, we want to hear what we missed, and this goes for a lot of the segments we're going to have. It's pure back and forth bullshit, which is what it's all about anyway. That's kind of what Philadelphia is anyway. We're bullshitters. So let's sit around a bar, pop one open, and this is top 3 most underappreciated Philly athletes from what came to our mind. This is no research. This is just us BS, and I don't know what you're going to say. You don't know what I'm going to say. Do you have a third?
If I walked up to you on Broad Street and I asked you this, this would just be kind of what came to your mind right off the gun.
If I came right out of the Dolphin.
I don't have a list of people I'm looking at here. This is just stuff that, in your opinion, as an average Philadelphia sports fan, just underappreciated players who
Call
played
me
here
average?
a little bit.
Oh, cool.
Just size of your dick, that's all.
Wow.
Actually, that would be a little below average, but whatever.
Yeah, go to Facebook. You'll see it.
Ahoo. So, in any event,
That's a blank page.
off the gun is what we're looking at. So,
Who starts here?
I would like you to start with your number 3.
All right. Well, my number 3, and it's a personal favorite of mine. We're going Sixers, late 90s, early 90s, or late 90s, early 2000s. My number 3 underappreciated athlete was one Theo Ratliff.
Theo Ratliff.
Yeah. Theo Ratliff now was basically a hound for the ball underneath the net. All right. We traded him to Atlanta for
Dikembe Mutombo. Yep.
Right.
Yes, we did.
And yeah, we went to the finals. Yeah, we swept every award category except for getting the Naismith Trophy. They get defensive player. Sixth man was McKee. MVP was Iverson. Larry Brown was coach.
Rookie of the year was Mike Miller, I think, that year.
Sure, dude. If you got that on the head, then
I'm pretty sure it was.
So
I think what you did, we swept all the awards. I think Rookie of the year was Mike Miller that year.
And I know Dikembe Mutombo won the Defensive Player of the Year award, but I guarantee you, Theo would have done whatever he did, if not better, that year. He was injured. That's the thing.
Yes, he was.
We traded him to Atlanta, and Theo went to Atlanta and Detroit, and he actually came back for a bit. But I'm telling you, if he would have stuck with us, even though the injury, Theo Ratliff had perennial all-star potential. He was the best shot blocker I've ever seen over the last 20 years wear a Sixers uniform, bar none. That's my numero 3. What you got? You got one?
Do you know that we started 10-0 with Theo Ratliff that year?
And Matt Geiger and
Yep.
Tom McCullough and
Yep.
and Jermaine Jones
Yep.
and other focal, Tyrone Hill.
Well,
Already know.
I will tell you who my third is. We're talking recent Flyers as far as
All right.
removed 2 years ago. Was here for a very long time.
This might be my number 1. I mean, my number 2.
Maybe. Was a major free agent signing. Probably the biggest free agent signing of that summer
Now that we made,
that we made.
and then we let him go.
And we let him go.
We let him off the hook.
Well, we let him go as a free agent.
Okay.
We didn't trade him.
Who was it?
Danny Briere.
Wow, really?
Absolutely.
Underappreciated?
I believe he was underappreciated.
I think Philly fucking loved him. Dude.
I loved him. He was probably my third favorite Flyer of all time. But
Behind Gags and Hexy.
Gags and Hexy, number 1, number 2 for my.
Gags is
number
one? No, that's so fucked up. Hexy's
No,
number one.
Hexy's number 1.
Okay, giddy up.
Absolutely.
Hexy, Pelly Eklund, the rest.
But just kind of like what we were talking about last week, Danny Briere played with a lot of guys who
Huh?
got more publicity than him. Were
It's a sausage competition.
a little bit. So I just feel like
He did, though. I mean,
if you look it up, I mean, he has some of the most points in playoff history, in Flyers history.
his runs in the playoffs were unreal.
Unbelievable. And I just really feel as if that, yeah, people loved him, but like they really didn't appreciate the type of play he brought. Just think for a
I
second.
don't agree with that one bit.
You don't-
I think everybody did. In the playoffs?
But everyone talked about Mike Richards.
Playoffs?
Everyone talked about Mike Richards. Everyone talked about Jeff Carter. Everyone would talk about goaltending. And yeah, and Alan Briere scored 2 goals that night. I mean, Briere had a hat trick, or Briere had 2
Yeah,
assists.
third star of the game, right? You know?
And that's
Yeah.
yes,
I
that's
got
what
you
it
on
always
that.
came down to. And just imagine for 1 second if Danny Briere was 6'4", 6'3". Danny Briere is 5'10" or 5'11". He's not even 6 feet tall.
I think I picture his face just more like drawn out, like longer.
Fat.
No, like skinny though, because I mean,
I just seriously imagine if Danny Briere had the size to really body guys off the puck, which obviously he never really could.
no, but in the playoffs he basically was Superman.
It's ridiculous.
So-
When he has open ice and he can find a lane, it's almost automatic going to be at least a scoring chance. And
Yep.
he had goals that I couldn't even believe that happened.
So that's your number 3. Now, I don't think he was underappreciated. I can tell you that right now. I think when you think he was underappreciated, he probably was because he should have been, i.e., regular season. But nevertheless, I digress.
Talking about the whole career.
Talking
is
about
what we're talking
practice.
about practice.
All right. I can see that then. That makes a little bit better sense. And now that we're talking about whole career, my number 2 is this one, and probably Theo was too. It's more disrespect or unappreciated, if you will, which is kind of analogous with disrespect to from coming down from the top, from the upper management, right? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And the Flyers were in such disarray a few years ago, and stemming from the past, ever since Hexy, really, the goalie sitch is just, they're never content. They wanted Jesus every year. And they thought, let's sign Van Beesbrook. Let's sign this guy. Let's sign that guy, right? So this
Sean
is
Burke.
a couple years. Sean Burke. There you go. Jeff Hackett fucking falls over. Half his face is dead. Runs into a wall. Bye-bye. Anyway.
Bye-bye.
They weren't smart. They were afraid to build from within to nature someone. They finally did. Happened to be a fucking Ruski, and they weren't happy with. I mean, Sergei Bobrovsky played his fucking ass off,
Yes, he did.
and I was the biggest Bob fan. You can vouch for that. I was Bob City.
I wanted to get a jersey so
Yep.
bad when he first started looking like the guy that he is today.
Dude, they were talking about him when he went to Adirondack for a cup of coffee, and they were killing him. I mean, not killing him. I mean, they were praising him, and then he gets here, and they kill him like he should be well, this guy's just up here because we're low on talent and and he played his ass off. Sure, he couldn't talk. I don't know if that has anything to do with the media or whatever, but he didn't know the language, but he loved being here. He loved the city. He was heartbroken when he went to Columbus, by the way. And what did he do when he went to Columbus, by the way?
I don't know. He just won the Vezina.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's a weird word. What does it mean? Best goalie in the league.
That's what it means.
And he's pretty much doing it again this year. He's not going to win the Vezina, but he's damn near close. Columbus is going to make playoffs for the second time in history. By the way, he won the Vezina for a team that didn't even make playoffs.
I know. That's just like Ron Hextall running the
And J.S. Shiger.
Yep. That's
Conn
ridiculous.
Smythe for a losing team.
That's
So that's my numero 2 is
ridiculous.
Sergei Bobrovsky. Every time I hear his name, I think about what they used to play at the Wells Fargo. It's stupid. The Lady Gaga song, and then they would end it with la 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 Sergei Bobrovsky. It was the worst. That's why he left. That's why we traded him. Good. Your turn.
There were two players in Phillies history that were constantly harassed for striking out.
Jeff Geary?
and,
Oh, no. Striking out.
Just they're too slow. They can't play. It's this.
I'm liking where this is going.
It's that.
What do we have here?
And they were on teams that just always.
Sorry.
They always had a slight potential, but these two players always seem to take the blame on these teams.
Oh, see, this is your 2-1?
It's kind of like
Don't do both.
no.
Or you can if you want. I'll swing it back.
It's just the one guy, but it was always these two guys, and people never.
Were they both?
World fucking champions!
One of them was
okay.
a world fucking champion, and I got to tell you, this guy took criticism for years.
And they're both strikeout machines?
And well, one of them was
Okay,
a strikeout machine. I was trying to go back and forth between the two of them.
Yeah, I didn't talk for 20 seconds, so I felt like I should again.
And I'll be honest with you, once the Phillies won their championship, there was a lot of love for this guy all of a sudden. And everyone's all giddy. They just won the championship. It broke the drought for all the teams and everything, and that's great.
25 years.
But just remove yourself from 2008 and pretend we're in 2006, 2007 again. And I want you to really, really consider your just animosity and not hatred, but just you're sick of Pat Burrell.
Really?
Really.
Every other year it was with him.
Every
Every other year he had a good year or a bad year.
And people got
And-
sick of him. People were just thinking to themselves, when are we going to get rid of this guy? Who can we trade this guy for? How can we make our team better?
Yep.
Who wants this guy? He's trade bait every year.
Oh, he was a strikeout machine.
And-
To do the Pat Burrell dance. Do the Pat Burrell dance.
And
Everybody's fucking doing it.
you know what? Pat Burrell, yes, he took a lot of the blame for a lot of these seasons, and he's your cleanup hitter for a while, and he's this and he's that, and he's lead-foot Pat Burrell out there, and he's a liability. But Pat Burrell was a pretty decent player. He
Imagine
put up
Pat Burrell's life, dude.
And-
Imagine living what he lived for that 15-year stretch. Oh, my God.
he put up pretty decent numbers
Bondage and
for a
frauds.
guy, and I really think that. And this again removed from the championship game or the championship, because they're all in our minds and they're historic now, and that's great. But for the longest time, no one really appreciated him. So that would be my number two.
I can see. I think the reason why is because he performed every other year, but I can see that. Numero uno.
Yes, sir.
Same ilk. All right, I'm going back to the second time I said ilk. I don't know why. Probably the fourth time I ever said it in my life.
Elk call?
Ilka Sinisalo. All right. Is he coming? Is he right? So, numero uns, another Flyers goalie. And you know damn well who it is, okay? Now, I've had the biggest hard-on for that cat. Me and my man Bill McCarthy, one of my best friends through high school and college and all that. Me and him, and Boomer now, our buddy Boomer now, we were kind of the only people that ever had this cat's back, all right? And his name is Roman Czechmanek. And there's probably grown city going on for the 18 people who might have heard this. And I don't know why everyone has such non-fond memories of that guy. All he did was stand on his fucking head over and over. Everyone blames him for the Ottawa series that he gave up like 5 goals in 5 games for.
How many goals did the Flyers score in that series?
Yeah, 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, what happened was, like, each team didn't have offense at all. We got shut out twice.
He was like the Cole Hamels of the
We
Flyers.
won one game of that series, and I believe it was a 2-1 win. And everyone blames him for everything. Like, he was if we could do top 3 scapegoats, don't you think Roman would be numero un? Why do I keep saying un? Why don't I say one? That is stupid.
Roman Czechmanek was it?
Hit the wrong button.
Okay. Anyway, Roman Czechmanek was a solid goalie. I liked him a lot, and he will always be remembered for one thing more than anything else.
Can I say it?
Absolutely.
Well, first of all, I know what you're saying. I'm
Uh-huh.
going to say what I thought is like a 32-year-old rookie, but you're talking about the old cranium carum.
Cranium Carum. That's
Big
right.
time. Jim Jackson used to call that like a motherfucker, too. That was great. Who's your numero un?
Okay. So
Here we go again.
this is gonna grind your gears, I think.
It's snowing, baby! snowflake!
Woo! And this just, oh my God. I can't even believe this is my number one, but I really thought about this.
You're
for
like jiggling
a
while you're
long-
talking
I'm
about
jiggling.
this. Are you nervous?
I'm
Are you not sure you want to do this right
getting
now?
jiggy with it.
Uh-oh.
So I'm West Philadelphia, born and raised.
No, we can't. Don't do that. Please.
Don't do that. Everybody in Philadelphia does that, so don't even start with me.
Like, now?
Numero uno. We will have debates about this player until we die. He will literally. You can be on both sides of the fence with this guy, and you have an argument on both sides, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
Okay. He has been criticized millions of times for rules he didn't know about the game and choking in a championship game. But I absolutely have to say that the most...
You gotta be kidding
Nope.
me.
The
Are
most,
you serious?
Absolutely.
Are you high and drunk and
I am
hammered
not
and wet?
at all. Most underappreciated player in Philadelphia sports history.
You know that there's 50, like you said, it's 50-50. And that
Number
50,
5 will always love you.
Oh, my God.
Donovan McNabb.
You know the 50% that do have its back have totally encompassed the whole 100% for the other 50 that hate him? Like, they love him so much. But he is 50-50. You're right.
He is, and it's so, thrown up in the Super Bowl, and I didn't
can't
know
love
there
a
was
choker.
ties in the game, but Donovan McNabb consistently put up great statistical numbers for this team.
Sure. I mean, it was a fantasy. It was a fantasy.
No,
hard-on.
I'm not talking about fantasy.
I know.
I'm talking about. I think that there was a lot of. I think that Andy Reid, because I hated Andy Reid more than probably anyone in the history of Philadelphia
You
sports.
did. I'm not the hugest fan, no pun, but
when,
you didn't like him.
do you remember when we had all these Andy Reid, Donovan McNabb years, and they said, well, if you had to get rid of one, who would it be? Andy Reid.
You were Andy Reid, and I was Andy Reid.
Absolutely, because I would have loved.
But then when it was Andy Reid and Michael Vick, it was Michael Vick.
I would have loved to have seen what Donovan McNabb could have done under a different coach in Philadelphia.
So you were telling Andy Reid,
Get the fuck out!
Absolutely.
if you could just see him and
Get
say,
the fuck
and he
out.
did.
And he finally did, yes. And
After Donovan did.
After Donovan did. And in Donovan's prime, I would have loved to have seen what he could have done with any other coach, Sean Payton or Bill Belichick. Or I know those are great
Yeah, I
coaches,
mean-
and they don't come around all the time. But in someone else's system, who's not always calling,
Colin Campbell.
who can't run the ball when you're supposed to be running the ball, and it gives him a breather and doesn't put the whole game on his shoulders all the time.
Andy Reid, 1st and 10, incomplete. 2nd and 10, run for 1 yard, 3rd and 9.
Oh my God, it's
That's
ridiculous.
it. That's it.
And I really think that people will always remember when I say Donovan McNabb, what's the second thing that comes to your head?
That you don't say Donovan, you say Dominic.
No, okay, Donovan McNabb. Anyway, Andy Reid. Andy Reid is the second.
Well,
thing that
they're
comes to your
married.
head.
They're married.
That's what I'm saying, and I think that a lot of people don't appreciate the success that he had in Philadelphia because he was always put in positions where we always said, I got to do a better job. I got to do a better job.
He's another
I gotta do a
example.
better
He's
job."
actually the total opposite of Sean Jackson, but almost the same. Like, he is not the, what people think Deshaun Jackson is a thug. McNabb's the Uncle Tom. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's different. But it's almost the same where it's, yo, idiot, wake the fuck up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think. It's stop being an idiot. Now you're being an idiot, like you're flashing gang signs to Sean. You're dropping a ball before the end zone because you think 19 cameras are circling around your own head, and then you got Donovan. It's like, yo, you idiot, be a fucking team player. Stop throwing up. All right. So I can understand. I don't think he's underappreciated personally because I personally hate him, but.
I hate him as a person, but I think underappreciated as an
And that's the
athlete.
thing. That's my blinds. I have a problem with that. If I hate
see
you as a
it.
person, I don't care how good you are on the field, and that's fucked up because my whole life I went without a championship until the Phillies, and you know what? That group of characters was awesome.
Ditto.
It was like, Brett Myers beat his wife. It happens. So no, my word. All right, we're on to the next. This is a segment we're going to call On the Clock. Now, this comes from the Mind of Fresh, which is basically every segment and on the show. I just do the talking. On the clock is a funky little draft segment we'll do where basically one of us each week will alternate every week, just like we will do with another segment that we kind of bypassed. Oh, wait, we got to do that, you know?
What do we have to do?
That Joan. We were going to have a segment called This or That. I went over it. Now, you said you had a doozy.
Oh,
but first, hold
I
on.
have
Let's
a
just do
doozy.
on the clock real quick.
Yeah,
and you can
do
just
on
tell me
clock.
right
Do on
away.
clock. Do on
On the
clock.
clock is, I'm going to, what we do is we're going to ask you to draft one player from any position in any league to play another position in another league, right?
Correct.
So you have to draft any NHL enforcer / fighter, because that's basically what enforcer is, a nice fancy little dressed up way of saying fighter
In the history of the NHL?
in the history of the NHL,
Okay.
and whatever comes to mind
Okay.
for this. Who would be the best? What NHL enforcer would be the best NFL linebacker?
If I was drafting an NFL team from scratch and I have to pick an NFL enforcer of NHL enforcer of all time.
Want to come back?
Yes, let me think about that one.
Ooh, all right.
I have a couple names.
Boom pow. Now you tell me what you were going to say earlier. We do have a segment that's called This or That, which we'll get to next week. I'm pretty sure. But Fresh said he's got a nice little question. And I'm curious to hear it. And this is a shitty first run of the podcast, so we don't do fucking pre-production. So I got nothing here.
If you woke up tomorrow morning,
Yeah.
if you did wake up tomorrow morning,
Yep. R.I.P. Ultimate Warrior.
and you happen not to check your Facebook and not to check the computer,
Then I don't want to.
not talk to anybody, you picked up a copy of the Philadelphia Daily News,
Okay.
and out of some astronomically strange coincidence, all 4 major teams left Philadelphia.
All right.
I have 2 questions for you.
Okay.
Would you still remain a fan of those teams if they all moved to different locations and cities within the United States?
Wait, that's one question?
Or
Trying to keep this into an hour. It's not going to happen this week.
or would you become a fan of a different team?
Nope.
It was not a yes or no question.
Oh, cool. Is that both the questions, kind of? So it's a 2-in-1?
Those are the questions. So here's my questions. Would you still remain a fan of all 4 teams, yes or no?
No.
Okay. So
I'm
now-
more apt actually to the latter. I'm more apt to find another team out of spite. Like,
Okay.
fuck you.
So
Now-
Philadelphia now has no sports teams whatsoever for whatever reason. I don't know.
But-
may or not have
But
blew
now
up all the.
I gotta put my mindset in a totally, because if that were to happen, we're talking bad attendance, terrible record, bad
right,
management.
yes.
So at that time, I'm so full of piss and vinegar anyway, and spite and all that I want you not I want you out, but it'd be like the Cleveland Browns. Like they hate the Ravens more than any other team in the world. But I'm not necessarily going to go ahead and find some other team.
You now have 30 seconds to tell me what teams in each one of the 4 major leagues
Ooh, now they.
you would now become the fan of.
All right, you want to be Johnny fucking Die Hard here?
Are
if
you ready?
Don't give me 30. I'm going to do the 4, right? Off the top of my head. I'm not
wait,
I'm not talking like this all fast to make myself think about other teams.
I'm going to give you the league, and then you're going to tell me the team.
And then right after you're the 4th team that I tell you, you're going to have to tell me your linebacker.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, you want to see this? Turnbull's turn.
MLB.
MLB. Minnesota Twins.
Minnesota Twins.
I like Joe Mauer a lot. And I've always liked that. What? What happened? Uh-oh.
It's a sausage competition.
Why? Because their logo's 2 dudes?
You like Joe Mauer that much?
Yeah. Well, I'd win a competition. In that.
Oh, my
You know what I
God.
mean?
All right, NHL.
Well, I mean, I already have them. I'm a humongous Sharks fan, so
Is that how you pronounce it?
I love myself some Sharks.
Why do you like the Sharks so much?
Patty Marleau. I'm a big Pat Marleau fan, as you can tell by how I said that.
You sound like a gay.
Pat Marleau played on whatever, like, junior hockey team, whatever he was playing for. If he didn't get drafted in the Atlantic Division, which is now called the fucking Metropolitan Division. But anyway, if he didn't get drafted in the Atlantic, I was going to root for whatever team he went to. He got drafted by the Sharks in, like, 97, I think. Ever since then, been a big-time Sharks guy. Got a Patty Marleau jersey up in my Joe.
NBA.
That's hard because I don't even like it anyway. Oh, man, NBA. Yeah, I'll tell you what. It would have been easier because I was a huge Sean Kemp fan and a humongous Sonics fan as a kid. As my second, they were my Sharks to my Flyers, and the Sharks to the Sonics and the Sixers. They were my Sharks, if you will.
Okay.
So it would be Oklahoma City because
No.
I actually like Kevin Durant.
Not because of the recent. You're not a front runner.
Oh no! I used to love the Sonics, right?
Okay.
And the Sonics moved there, and it's kind of retroactive to what I was saying before. Not retroactive. I'm looking for a word that means the opposite of that. But anyway, they moved, so I should hate them. But since I'm not actually in that city, I didn't mind that they moved because of who. I don't know. I just loved Kevin Durant and Greg Oden. I hate it. And when Trailblazers took Oden, I knew they were making a mistake because I watched a lot of college basketball, and I knew Kevin Durant was going to be a beast. And also, the Oklahoma City Miami thing. Everybody hates LeBron, admit it. I do too. I hate Miami. I hate the way that all happened, and so I want Durant to beat LeBron in the long run. I don't mind the Thunder. Also, I think their fucking crowd's hot, man. They're always hot and up and white and all that shit. Not pigment wise, but shirt wise. You know what I mean?
All right. And the NFL.
See, that's hard because I've been on record as saying that's probably the only league where I couldn't actually root for any other team.
Really? There's no other NFL team you can root for? Because I've quite a few. I would. Not. I'm a diehard Eagles fan, but
If the Broncos went back to their old logo, I'd probably root for the Broncos. Loncos.
the Loncos.
The Placido Loncos.
Living La Vida Lonco?
Yeah, I really don't have one. Maybe Houston because J.J. Watt's a fucking mammoth beast.
I noticed that you are trending towards teams of players you really like.
Yeah. Well, why wouldn't I go that route?
Well, I'm just asking. You know,
I mean, there's-
history of a franchise, maybe historic
I
franchise.
don't. Dude, I grew up not winning a goddamn thing. You think I'm going to jump ship to somebody who's got fucking 10 rings?
No, I'm not saying that they have lots of championships. I'm just saying they
It's
have
an
a
uncensored
history-
podcast, all right? And you
history
haven't cursed
franchise,
once.
okay?
You better fucking get
Oh,
your shit
I've
in
cursed
gear.
quite a few times.
Ah,
We can
did you?
review
Cool.
this, yes. In any event, my linebacker,
Yeah. Yep.
my linebacker of any NFL enforcer in the history of the NHL would probably be Bob Probert.
Yeah, that's definitely respectable joint. You know who Bob Probert will be, basically? Bill Romanowski. They're the same person.
But you know, I will say, and it's not because he was
Bob
a fly-
Probert's dead. Bill Romanowski talks like he's dead.
It's it's not because he was a flyer, but I could really see Donald Brashear being a linebacker.
That's true.
I mean, he was a fighter in Canada, you know.
He's a
He was a
beast.
boxer in Canada, and he's black, so you know
Yeah.
that he's got that going for him.
Yeah, there you go.
So
I see where you're going there.
I would definitely go probably Bob Probert, you know, almost like a Brian Urlacher type.
Big, wiggly, wiggly, whack.
But I love Donald Brashear. I've always loved that guy, and I mean he would be a close second for me.
There you go. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. We're already past our allotted time, but that doesn't matter ever.
Nope.
And by allotted time, I mean what? You know? Bomboli do. You got anything to say?
Bumblebee do.
So we have one last segment we like to call, and we will call from here on out, the Pulse. Now, what this has to do with, for people who, well, basically, it's anybody that actually listens to this that gives a fuck, because that you're a Philly sports guy. What's the matter?
As far as we're concerned, we are average Philadelphia sports fans, just like the rest of you guys probably listen to this.
Stop saying average. I'm avid. Avid. Say avid.
Avid.
Avid's better than average. Average.
Passionate.
Average like people who don't know offsides in fucking hockey.
Oh my God! Don't ever take a chick to a Flyers game.
My
That's
wife
all I have to
knows
say.
all of it, baby. Hence
my
the ring
God.
around my thing.
In any event, our perception as Philadelphia sports fans, as a nation,
It's fucked.
is ridiculous. How many times do we have to hear about Santa Claus and snowballs?
And batteries.
Oh my God! I am tired of it.
I mean, he missed. He didn't hit him with it.
There are tons of stories like this that just because they weren't
Could have been a she.
twisted a certain way, or they weren't told a certain way, or reported a certain way in every city in America. And I am so tired of hearing about that, and Wood is so tired of hearing about that. The rest of
Big
you,
time.
we know. So we thought we would do a little segment to end each one of our shows called The Pulse. It's pretty much the way that the rest of the nation perceives us Philadelphians, and the way that we our fandom, the way we are. We're passionate. We bleed orange and black and white.
Don't do them all.
And well, I was gonna do them all, but now I'm not.
Damn it.
You kidding me?
Any event. So we thought to
Because it should go back to the Kelly Green. That's why.
start this thing off, we would share a story that we each witnessed firsthand, just showing what we're really about.
Right.
The way that
As a fan base.
that other people should see us and that will never be reported because they just always want to keep us as public enemy number one, and they just like to swipe people, and they want to do is boo. They'll boo their own teams, and so we're just gonna go back and forth real fast, share our stories, and we really, really, really want to hear your stories. We want to put it up on Facebook, we want to put it up on Twitter, and we want to show the rest of these fucking assholes around the rest of the nation
Whoa! Holy shit!
type of fans we are in Philadelphia.
Oh my goodness gracious!
So,
All right, well, let me go ahead and start the Joan. I happen to live in Vegas for one calendar year.
oh really?
And
Hey, do you happen to be there when the Phillies won the championship? Were you there in 2008?
Let's put it this way: I moved to Vegas when I was
When Brad Lidge hugged Carlos Ruiz on the mound?
You asshole!
Were you at Cotman in Frankfurt when the Phillies
tell you
won
where-
the championship?
I'll tell you what happened was I was 25 years old, or 26 maybe. At the
See
time.
what happened.
And I moved out to Vegas. I work in the front office for a minor league hockey team, making like 19 G's, which is like $8,000 in Vegas, because it's actually more because of the cost of everything. But there's casinos. And what happens is I don't see one goddamn championship basically my whole entire life. The Sixers won when I was roughly 10 months old or something like that. So that don't count. And so I move out there, and the fucking Phillies win, which is amazing. Amazing. It was the greatest night of my life. The greatest night of my life. My sales manager happened to be from Philly. We went out. We did the whole nine. The next morning, I go to work, probably hammered or hungover still. I literally fell out of my chair when I heard.
World fucking champion!
I walked into work that day. I said, I'm not doing a goddamn lick of work today, and you damn well know why. I'm going to watch the feed the whole nine. That happened. Fell out of the chair. So anyway, I'm in Vegas watching that. I leave Vegas February of 2009. However, in January of 2009, hence prior said manager before from Philly, gets NFC Championship game tickets. Eagles at Cardinals. Yet again, now on the road, but yet again another Eagles favored game. They're favored to win this game. And they came out flat as fuck. And I remember going at halftime, talking to actually some of the other fans, Eagles fans there. By the way, we were well populated. I'm going to say 25%, which is pretty damn good for one out of four being an Eagles fan out there. And that stadium, unreal. Anyway, so we're getting our ass killed. All of a sudden, boom, we come on back, and we start making something of it. Then your boy, Mr. Unappreciado, throws us out to Kevin Curtis. No dice. We end up losing. Okay, big deal. The place is going crazy. That's the thing about these Arizona fans and places like that. Tampa Bay Rays, when it happened, look, they don't care really. They don't really show up. But when they do, like when they get to that almost the heavenly land, they actually get there and they get loud and they get crazy because it's like their fucking sons are out there. Their offspring. They treat it like that. It's wacky. So what happens is we lose. I'm totally distraught. Walking down the aisle with my man, his name is Dylan, walking with just heads held down. And this one dude I was joshing with about two rows in front of me, I decided to, while we're walking down, he's on the end seat. I was like 3 in, a couple rows above. And he's just cheering and going crazy. I just hit him on the shoulder when I was going down. And I say, he goes, hey. I go, hey, man. I say, yo, man, go get him. You guys deserve it. And I knew the game after this was Ravens-Pittsburgh. And I was assuming, and correctly so, that the Steelers were going to win this fucking game. And I hate the Steelers like they might as well be in the NFC East. I don't care about fucking friendly state rival. Get that shit out of there.
Absolutely.
So I said, yo, you go beat those motherfuckers. I said, hey, good game. You deserve it. And this dude, so I was just doing the passing. I want them to have their time. My head's down. And I just say, hey, nice game. And then I keep walking 2 steps, and I get tug on. Like, basically, the back, I get tug, and I turn around. It's this dude, and he was, all of a sudden, it was just me and him.
So let me get this straight before you continue.
Let me get this straight.
Your team, your Philadelphia Eagles
Yeah.
were just one win away from getting to a Super Bowl. One win away from getting to a Super Bowl.
Probably would have won it that year, too.
And lost on the road
While I was there
while you were there
at the fucking 10th wonder of the world, that stadium.
in enemy waters.
Yeah, enemy's really hard to say in Arizona, but yes, you're right.
Well, you know what I
And
mean.
giddy giddy.
So, and this guy pulls you aside.
Well, after what I said, he gives me a tug, I turn around. And that sounds fucking weird.
You sound like a gay.
So after my tug, I turned around and I talked to the guy, and I basically just said, real quick, or no, he looks at me and he goes, I'm talking stone-faced. There was no one else but me and him anymore. He goes, are you kidding me? And I thought he was pissed, dude. I really thought.
You kidding me?
I thought he was mad. And he goes, you single-handed. He takes the time in the middle of his team just getting to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
He goes, he points right in my fucking face, his index finger, and he goes right between my eyes, you single-handedly have just changed my thoughts on Philadelphia sports fans. And I said, hey, that's awesome, man. And you know what? That sucks because one thing like that, one nice gesture or one, hey, go get them. You beat our ass. We failed. Go get them. That changed. So what was your thoughts on Philly sports fans? That means he was a national guy. In Arizona and Phoenix, you get national radio. You probably one sports talk station on AM radio if you're lucky. You know what I mean? Like in Vegas, all it was national. You don't have any local. So it's just, it was kind of, it was awesome. It was awesome to see it and awesome to hear it. But then I kind of thought about, man, so you're just getting fed. You're getting fed
Yep.
junk,
Yep.
piss.
Yep.
So, that's the thing. That's a pulse kind of deal right there. That's what everybody else fucking thinks of us, dude.
Yep.
Straight up. I'm telling you, if you're not in a major metropolitan area, and Phoenix, I know it's what, like 4th or 5th in population, doesn't mean it's metropolitan. I'm talking about fucking, high rises, trees, streets, taxi cabs, shit like that. Those people out in Vegas and Phoenix and in Florida and stuff, they think we're just crap.
And that's the bullshit that ESPN will feed you every day.
And people
all
will
the
eat
time.
it.
Yep.
You want to talk about fucking 2 girls, 1 cup or whatever. They'll eat it. Ah!
God.
What's your jam there, sire? Okay, hold on, wait a second.
I'm going to whisper.
No, please.
Really?
Yeah.
You want me to whisper? It's not sensual.
It's sensual, but
Who? If I had to ask you who some of the absolute... Just heard that was a pig squeal, by the way.
yeah, sorry.
Didn't
I farted.
receive in my brain for a second. Who were some
You
of the...
receive in your brain?
If I had to tell you who the top maybe 3 players of all time who have just completely beat up on the Flyers would be, I mean, who would be some of your 3? I mean, if you don't have to give me exactly 3, but I mean, who would be beating up on them?
Well, and then I'm once again with the people I was talking about with the Chickamauga thing. I think they agree with me on this, and we're one of the few. I think the best player of all time is not Gretzky. Gretzky's second, but I mean, there's 2 answers to this.
Right.
But I think the best player of all time and someone who killed us was a guy named Mario Lemieux.
Yes, he was. And
Oh, I got it.
Mario Lemieux retired, or said he was going to retire.
Yep.
In 1997. And I was extremely fortunate enough to be at the Game 5 playoff game where the Flyers closed out the series versus the Pens. The exact date was April 27th, 1997.
All right.
Nobody knew at the time that wasn't going to be his last game in a Pittsburgh Penguins uniform because he came back and played again and blah, blah, blah. But
Still tore it up, too.
yeah, he did.
It's a beast.
But in a city who is, quote, historically known for everything that we had already mentioned and hating people and just out of spite, all we do is hate, 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 hate.
Love the hate. Love the drink.
Well, our team just
Drink.
just got rid of his last fairy tale run in the playoffs of possibly winning a Stanley Cup in his last year, and again, not knowing that he was going to make a comeback and all this crap. So diddly poo. So we watched the handshake, and I'm not going to lie, there are some fans that left, okay?
Sure.
And,
Well, I mean, they're not going to.
it is what it is, but for the majority of the fans of, the 75% of us that understood what we were witnessing, this was going to be the last time we ever saw Mario Lemieux play an NHL hockey game.
What did they do? What did they fucking do?
We stood there for, I don't even remember how long it was.
I mean, it was almost 5, maybe more.
It was, I don't know, but we gave him a standing ovation, a guy who just butchered us and cut us up and just took wins from us and maybe even positioning in the playoffs with the amount of points that he took from us in the standings with him single-handedly. He averaged, I think, what was it, 2 points a game in his
What,
career?
for his career? Well, almost, yeah. I think it was like 1.7, yep.
It was ridiculous, okay? And a lot of those
is
points,
unreal.
a lot of those points were against us. Were against the Lindrosses and the Hextalls and the Brendamores and the Denines and the Eklunds and all that stuff.
Pelly gets a little shout out there.
It's ridiculous.
Oh,
and we most certainly showed our respect as the best we could without going out there and hugging him and saying, "Hey, you know what, man?
Yeah.
You killed us for years. You are our arch enemy. You were our Sidney Crosby of the 90s." But you know what, man? You're a great hockey player, and
you can't call him Crosby.
I know that. I know they're two different classes, but
You know who you're talking to?
Lemieux was a little bit of a crybaby as well. You got to admit that.
But who? Look, if you're another time.
Look, Crosby, whole different spectrum.
Yep.
But I mean, Gretzky was a much bigger crybaby than Lemieux as well.
I agree. Although Gretzky did drop the gloves once, that I can remember, against McSorley. Go ahead, do your thing.
So
Come on.
we stood there, and I was young. I was how old was I? I was
Well, at that time, I was going to say you're in there.
13, I believe. 13, 94.
No.
94. Yeah, I was 13 years old.
All right.
That's exactly correct. And I was 13 years old, and I remember standing there with my father, clapping for this guy, and not, you're 13 years old, you know about the sports scene, and I'm thinking, why are we standing here clapping for so long? And my dad explaining it to me that, we have to show this guy our respect. He was.
That's a good pops right there.
He's a tremendous hockey player.
Not very many Philly pops like that, though.
He is a reason why you start to play hockey. You watch him play, and you're in awe. And Mario Lemieux made one play after another in his career that just you takes your breath away.
And he watched the whole thing.
I would have loved for Mario Lemieux to play on my team.
Your dad saw the whole jump.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we stood there till my hands were beet red and sore. And I remember walking to the parking lot in our car, and my hands still throbbing from clapping for so long.
It's a sausage competition.
So, and there are multiple videos on YouTube and everywhere, showing how long we stood there. And to his credit, he made circles around the ice. Oh
yeah. He felt it. He felt it.
He did. And
that was hard shit. Right.
That's the pulse right there.
Big time.
That's the pulse of a Philadelphia fan, a true Philadelphia fan.
What it is it's sports, and it's the love for it. That's all it is.
That's right.
I mean, sure, we're going to be bitches, and that's also the pulse. You come into our fucking house, as what they say on that one show, you get your ass kicked. Or at least we'll fucking try. Fans, players, coaches, upper manage, we'll try and kick your fucking ass. Right?
But anyway, those are our stories, and we want to hear from you.
That's it. Big time.
We want to hit us up on Twitter, hit us up on Facebook. What are your stories?
At UnansweredPts. You know what I'm saying? UnansweredPts at gmail.com. Facebook.com/unanswered.points. I'm going to say dot, not period. Unanswered period points.
Dot.
Doesn't really, I don't know what that means.
Dot.
All right, so that's numero un. I want to do it one more time. I like saying that. I'm going to incorporate that. That is Doug.
Fresh.
Oh, that's Mike. That's like fifth. That's fifth time ever.
And that is Brian.
Wood. Brian Wood.
From Freshwood Studios.
What would I do? What would Brian do? All right, Unanswered Points. This is the inaugural one. Thank you very much if you held in this long. Jerry Sanford. Oh my God, you're the only one. Congratulations. I love you all. We will. We're going to try and make this bigger and better every week, and let's get this bad boy on iTunes. Hopefully, they let us do that, so you can download apps and it just automatically downloads on your phone and all that shit. But giddy up! Thanks for hanging with us, and Unanswered Points will be back this time next week. Hopefully, on the iTunes, Joe.
Thanks for listening, everybody, and hopefully we'll have a Flyers
Circle jerk.
circle jerk
Giddy up! See you
sausage
then.
party.
All right. Oh wait, can I hit it?
It's a sausage competition.